What is going on, guys? It's Hatchets here, and today we have a super easy and discreet Easter egg guide for the FIREBASEZ Easter egg. Before we begin the video, I just wanted to mention that a bunch of the zombies YouTubers were giving out false information and a couple of inaccurate guides detailing some of the steps, so I just wanted to clear the air and offer a 100% accurate guide. So we're going to begin with the first step, and what I do recommend, guys, is that you actually build the ray cape because you are going to need this. So if you want to know how to do that, there are a few ways to get the ray K, and you don't have to do the little Easter egg quest that allows you to build it. You can get it out of the coffin dance, and I will link these videos as to how to get it for free in the top right hand corner of the screen. So good, now that you guys have that, you also want to turn on the power, and I just wanted to give you a pro tip as to how to access the power without opening the door within the village spawn area to access the teleporter. So you can use this parkour spot, super simple. You just run and jump at the same time, and you'll be able to jump up there and skip opening the first door completely. So once you use the teleporter and get to FIREBASEZ from the village area, you actually want to turn on 3 dark ether reactors to turn on the power, and you need to open them up at the mission control area at the dark ether reactor there, one at the data center, and then one at the military command office. So 3 separate dark ether places or reactors, and you just turn them on, complete the lockdown, and you'll have the power on. So good, after you do this step, the next one is to head back to spawn. You need to talk to Mr. Ravenov within the window at the Pack-a-Punch machine. You just talk to him, he'll start a dialogue, and he'll send you to Dr. Peck, and Dr. Peck is actually located behind the big window in the mission control area. So you need to head back to FIREBASEZ, head to mission control, talk to Dr. Peck, interact with him, and he'll start a whole dialogue. He'll actually send you back to Ravenov, so you need to use the teleporter that you initially used, go back to spawn, talk to Ravenov, have a little dialogue with him after you interact with him, and he'll hand you a Ravenov ID badge item that gives you clearance to everything within FIREBASEZ. Now this badge item is used to open up 3 lockers, and out of convenience, I recommend that you open up the first locker within the village area, and it's super close to quick revive, and it's actually within the first room that you open to get to the teleporter if you don't use the parkour spot. And you just open up the locker and grab the serum from inside, hold X, I guess, or square depending on which console you're on, and super simple, just pick it up. And then the next location from there is to go to the military command control room. You actually don't need to do this in any set order, but this is the order that I did it in. And I went to the military command control room into the colonel's office, and there's another locker next to the desk within there. So you just open up that locker, swipe the card, and open up the serum, grab it, and then you need to head to the third location. The third locker is actually located inside the engineering section. So the engineering section is directly below the planning offices, and you need to pick up the serum once again, and now you're done with that step. Super simple. At if any point in time that you're lost with this guide and don't know the locations that I'm calling out, you just look at the top left hand corner of the screen at your HUD, and you will see exactly where you are. It'll give you a location call out. After you've collected all of these serums, you need to head to the field hospital, which is actually really close to the barracks. And within the field hospital, there's going to be a desk and a kind of like chemical compound mixing machine, and you need to interact with this and mix up the chemicals. It'll start spinning, and a bunch of hellhounds will spawn in. Just train around them, and honestly, just wait 20 to 30 seconds, and you'll be able to pick it back up. And you need to transfer the serum, the mixed chemical agents, and transfer it to the little gas device that is now on the desk. Once you do so by interacting with X or square, once again, you can pick up the agent delivery system machine, and you need to head to the OPC area. So you need to go to this specific area. If you don't know where the OPC is, it's the huge dome, kind of hard to miss, and there's going to be an AC unit on the roof. You need to jump on top of this AC unit and place the agent delivery system by interacting with it, and then you need to head back to Dr. Peck within the mission control area once again and interact with him. He's going to do this whole weird sort of dance thing after you interact with him as the gas seeps in. I guess it's truth serum or something, but man is off the juice and he goes crazy. So now once you've done that, he's going to prompt you to go to the data center, and you need to find a machine against the wall with a big brain on the screen. So after the dialogue is done with Peck, you'll be given the option to unlock the memory transference station, and essence traps will become available from this big brain screen machine. These essence traps essentially work like Pokemon and Pokeballs, where you're gonna have to damage a mimic and capture it with inside of it. So what you need to do is head to these 3 locations: the planning offices, the village area at the top above Pack-a-Punch, and then one at the Colonel's office next to the Dark Aether reactor, where you turn on the power within that section. So what you need to do is find these little fake score streaks that are on the ground, and you need to get a mimic to spawn out of them on 3 separate rounds at these 3 separate locations. So once a mimic spawns from it, you just need to shoot the mimic, lower its health. Don't use the Ray K because it'll probably one-shot it and it'll basically just get weakened. You throw the essence trap, wait a couple of seconds and activate it, capture the mimic, and then wait another additional 2 seconds until the trap turns purple. Pick up this trap and head directly to the data center and deposit within the brain machine once again, where you got the essence traps in the first place. And you know you've done this correctly if you get a dialogue from either Sokolov, Brahms, or Zabim. So that's how you know you've done it correctly. If you've done it incorrectly, you'll get some sort of error or memory corrupted type of thing. And you need to do this 2 other times after you do that on 3 separate rounds. Upon completing the last data transfer or the memory transfer, you need to grab the floppy disk that pops out of the brain machine, and you need to head back to the planning offices next to the OPC and drop it in the quantum mainframe machine with the brain on it. So once again, there's going to be a screen within the planning offices with a brain on it. Drop the floppy disk in there by interacting, and you need to head back to the OPC. Once you do so, you'll see a new portal area has opened, and you need to head back to Peck after seeing this portal area has opened. Now you're going to get a dialogue, and he's going to give you a code that's going to open the locker next to him. Just hold X on the locker and it'll open, dropping an Aethermeter, and you need to pick this up once again. So the next step is to find 3 Aether containers on the map. That can be done in any order, and to dig them up you actually have to grab a shovel found inside the hut in the Scorched Defense area. So I went all the way to the left of the Scorched Defense area, kind of the opposite side of where you dig out the eye for the Ray K step, and you just go all the way to the left in one of those bunkers, kind of near the front of the door, and you'll see a shovel. Now equip this shovel, and you need to move on to digging up these Aether containers. So the first Aether container that I went to is the open lot area next to the OPC. You can use sound cues to find it, and a bunch of containers will spawn. You need to find one that doesn't have any black smoke inside of it. It's kind of a tricky step, but if you keep looking, just keep one last zombie on around and keep looking for the one with no black smoke on it. And once you find it, that's the one you should interact with by holding extra square, and you collect it. Now the second one that I went to was the one within the barracks area, and it's kind of by the staircase. You'll see a lump of dirt there. You need to dig it up, and the container will come out warping to different places if you get too close to it. So to trap this container and to stop it from basically flying all over the map, you need to shoot it with the Ray K's alternate grenade. So kind of like the noob tube function on the Ray K. Shoot it with that by pressing up on the D-pad, and it'll stay where it is while you shoot the noob tube. So you just need to pick up this Aether container. So the next step is to head to the jungle defense area, and you'll find lumps of dirt all around. You need to use the beeping sound cue to dig up the spot, and it's kind of like in the middle of the strip, kind of all the way at the back. And once you dig it up, you're going to get some sort of little lockdown. It's super simple. It's nothing to worry about if you have the Ray K and your Ring of Fire. And once that lockdown is over, you need to pick up the Aether container when it's safe to do so. So the last step after doing that is to deposit each of these charged Aether containers at their respective spots. So you need to deposit them at the data center, one at the military command office Aether reactor, and then one at mission control. Now you need to navigate to the OPC and then to Peck, and you'll find that he's no longer accessible. Some shutters will come over his window, and then you need to head to the planning offices and use the computer there. On the screen, you'll see a galactic map that can be controlled with the D-pad, and you need to cycle through all of the little bright stars until you see a flag with a question mark on it. Just interact with it the second you see the flag, and you'll get a little cutscene with a laser beam coming out of the array portion of the map that has been reused. When everything's finished, go back to the OPC and interact with the terminals on the right, and then you go straight to the boss fight. Make sure you have your perks. It's a super easy boss fight. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.